Okay, guys, good evening once again. So in the yesterday class, we discussed about application layer, not application, presentation layer, what is mean by encoding, decoding, and also we discussed about data compression. Along with that one, we discussed about binary to decimal and also decimal to binary, couple of examples. And along with that one, we discussed about differences between encryption, hashing, and also encoding. And the main interview question, as I said yesterday itself. So most of the interviews, we can expect this particular question. That is nothing but encryption versus hashing. So that is our presentation layer. And after that, we move to session layer. So as per OSI, it is a fifth layer. And what is the importance of the session layer? It will provide the managing of the sessions. So especially it will do session management and also authentication and authorization part. So data format is data itself. And also couple of attacks are WASP top 10, SANS top 25, session hijacking, and also man in the middle attack. All those will fall under the session layer. So what are the features under the session layer? So session management, authentication, authorization. So session management here, manage it will session. So based on the how many sessions it is forming in between the end user versus applications or website. And authentication is nothing but providing credentials so that backend server, that may be database or web server, it will validate our authenticity and also it will give granting or permission. That process of granting and permission is called as authorization part. So that is what we discussed part of the session layer. After that, we move to transport layer. In the transport layer, layer number 4 as per OSI, and it will provide basically peer-to-peer communication in between two devices. That may be client or server, or maybe client or database, or client or application, or any peer-to-peer or any asset-to-asset device communication or transport or delivery. So what are the additional features it will do? Segmentation part, and also it will do so data flow control and also error free control. So these are all the features will be done by our transport layer. So coming back to what is segmentation? So segmentation is nothing but it will provide a converting of the so bigger data into smaller data, or else bigger chunks of the data into smaller chunks of the data based on the segment ID, based on the acknowledgement number, based on the source port, and based on the destination number, based on the padding and options and data. So that is called segmentation. So already I have shown practical TCP packet as well. So additionally, we discussed about error-free control in between any peer-to-peer device. Whenever any data is traversing or traveling, in that scenario, whenever any sender is sending any data, how the recipient will receive without any errors or without any mistakes with meaningful sentences so that he will acknowledge back. So that is called error-free control or errorness. And the next one is flow control. So whenever any data is traversing, once again, any peer-to-peer devices, sorry. So in that scenario, what is the data transfer rate? And also how the data can be, so sender will send and how the recipient will accept in the similar way, vice versa. So according to that, the data transfer rate based on the maximum capacity and minimum capacity, it will either accept it or it will do the negotiations in between the peer-to-peer or asset-to-asset or any server-to-server or a database and so on. Finally, data flow control will happen. So based on their maximum capacity and minimum capacity. So that is about so data flow control or data transfer rate or flow control. So it's a bidirectional once again. And after that, we discussed about data format in the TCP layer, that is nothing but segments or datagrams. And also we discussed about couple of attacks under the TCP layers. So example, TCP flood attack, sync flood attack. Sync flood attack is also called as a TCP flood attack. And also we discussed about, so other flooding category of the attacks will fall under the, so TCP layer like UDP flood. So thereafter we discussed about TCP three-way handshake. So mainly in between client and server, whenever any client will send a request using synchronization as an initial connection request, server will respond back based on the request it is sent it by client using sync plus acknowledgement. And finally, client will respond back with acknowledgement. So that is the way how the So in between client and server, communication or data transfer, it is happening. So that process is happening in three ways. So that is called TCP three-way handshake. After that, we discussed about TCP two-way handshake. So here in between client and server, so client will send the finished flag, and so that is the last flag or last packet from the client side, and so that server will see so whether I have to respond back, and it will respond back with acknowledgement, and after that any packet will send, automatically it will drop it, or it will make it like a reset connection. So that is called TCP two-way handshake. If are combining together these TCP three-way handshake and TCP two-way handshake, we can call it as TCP five-way handshake. Nothing but the sum of the TCP three-way handshake plus TCP two-way handshake, meaning here connection establishment and also connection closure. And also I said yesterday itself there are 6 flags under the TCP packet. So those packets are synchronization, acknowledgement, finish, urgent, push, and finally reset. So those definitions I did not provide yet. In the tomorrow class, I will provide those definitions related to TCP flags. Additionally, we have 3 reserved flags also, but those flags will not use that much whenever any data is traversing, but we'll keep it like a reservation kind of thing. So that is about TCP, two-way handshake and three-way handshake and TCP flags. So that's all we discussed about yesterday. And today one more topic is pending. It is their part of the transport layer. So what are the two different types of protocols will fall under the transport layer? One is the TCP and second one is UDP. So TCP full form is transmission control protocol, and UDP full form is user datagram protocol. So that is the full form of the respective protocols, whatever it is fall under. So transport layer. Now we can see what is the difference between these two, where we can use TCP and where we can use UDP. So that is the agenda for transport layer, TCP versus UDP. Once it will complete, then I will go to network layer. So let's start. Here I will keep TCP on the left hand side, and UDP I will keep right hand side. So first thing is we'll discuss about what is meant by full form. So what is the full form of TCP? It's a transmission control protocol. And UDP full form is user datagram protocol. Sorry. So here it is TCP, and right hand side it's a UDP. And the TCP, it will use the data format R. So protocol data unit, that is nothing but PDU. So that is nothing but segments here. TCP will use data format as segments. UDP will use data format as datagrams. So that is the second one. Third one, so TCP is a connection oriented protocol and also reliability protocol. But on the other hand, UDP is a connection less protocol and it will not provide any reliability. So once a TCP connection will be established, then only UDP connection will start. Okay. So TCP is a connection oriented protocol. And UDP is connectionless. Maybe you can ask now, without connection, then how the connection will be established in between end user and respective server or client or maybe application or website? What is meant by connectionless here? First TCP three-way handshake will happen, and after that then only UDP will come into picture. Without TCP, UDP cannot work it basically. So that is the mean by connectionless oriented protocol, meaning it is depending on the TCP. So that is the reason we can say, so UDP is a connectionless oriented protocol. TCP is reliable because its connection is establishing. So UDP is non-reliable. So next one is TCP is slower. Why? Because it has to send synchronization request and also sync plus acknowledgement request and acknowledgement request. We discussed yesterday already in between source and destination. So here, so meaning here first client has to initiate the connection using synchronization request. Now server has to receive that request and he has to respond back. We don't know how much lagging or latency or delay will be there. That is called padding basically in between client and server. So that is the reason TCP is always slower as compared to UDP, because here exchanging and also negotiations are happening in between, so client and server. But on the other hand, UDP, there is no exchanges. So after TCP will be established, then only UDP will come into picture. So here UDP is faster. So both these protocols will fall under the same layer. That is nothing but layer number 4. TCP will fall under layer number 4. That is transport layer. In the similar way, same thing, UDP is also will fall under layer number 4. That is transport. Now one more important thing is, so here feedback and acknowledgements must be there in the TCP side. Why? Because if you are giving the acknowledgement, what is third step in the, okay, so TCP three-way handshake, it's acknowledgement, nothing but feedback. For example, practical scenario based, maybe you ordered some of the pills or tablets from Apollo Pharmacy and they have done the DTDC courier and finally it has come to your home. Maybe they will enter OTP, whatever you received, part of your mobile number, or maybe they will take your sign stating that yes, so and so customer is received respective delivery whatever he ordered, part of the Apollo Pharma hospital or pharmacy. Meaning here we are providing the confirmation. That confirmation is like acknowledgement or feedback. Same way, so on the TCP side, acknowledgement will be there, but UDP side there is no acknowledgement or feedback. So that is the next point. TCP will require acknowledgement or feedback from client or in between two devices. But UDP is not required any feedback or acknowledgement. So that's all about overall what is the TCP versus UDP. Now I will give one of the very important question from PwC, UST Global, Infosys, Capgemini, Mindtree, and so on. Which server or protocol will support both TCP connections and also UDP connections? Only one server or one protocol will support both TCP and also UDP. That server is DNS. That's right, DNS. Okay. So before going to that one, I will give example of TCP connections. Any website access or server access or database access or peer access will fall under the TCP layer. UDP, why? Because we have to connection establishment first it will happen, part of the TCP. Thereafter that we can go and we can utilize UDP. So example, downloading of files, that is called drive-by downloads, and also audio calls and video calls. All these will fall under the Skype calls or Facebook calls or Instagram calls or Twitter calls and so on. All those will fall under the UDP. So these are all the couple of examples on the practical or day-to-day oriented. So what the note I given here now, which server or protocol will support both TCP and UDP connections. What is the answer I said?
DNS.
DNS. That's right. Domain name server or system. So please remember this one. It's very important.
RK live streaming comes under this UDP, right?
UDP, that's correct. Live streaming, online cricket or tennis matches, kabaddi matches, hockey or volleyball, everything will fall under the UDP only.
No.
Okay. So that is about transport layer overall. Only one topic is pending here. That is nothing but TCP flags. That one I will discuss in the tomorrow class. Okay. So there are 6 flags and there are 3 reserved flags are there. Along with that one, we have to discuss about couple of other definitions as well, part of the TCP/IP layer and also examples of the respect to each and every layer device. So that we can see tomorrow. So next layer I'm moving as per OSI or OSI reference model. So layer number 3, it is network layer. What network layer it will do? It will provide in between peer-to-peer devices. So path determination, routing, and also logical address. So that recipient will receive the data in the form of IP packets. That can be done by network layer. A network layer is very, very important layer along with application layer. That is nothing but layer number 7. Why? Because most of the attacks will occur through application layer or else network layer only. Why? Because internet will fall under the network layer using device called as router. Okay. So what is the importance and what is the description and what is the device? So next one we'll discuss about what are the features it will supported by respect to network layer. Okay. It will provide end-to-end communication in between peer-to-peer devices using path determination, logical address, and finally routing. So what are the features now? First one is logical address. Second one is path determination. Third one is routing or routing, whatever you will call. So now what is the data format in network layer? So as I said previously itself, it's IP packets. Okay. So every payload, whenever we are sending a message in the form of IP packet, every IPv4 version or IPv6 version, that is nothing but 32-bit or 128-bit contains source IP, destination IP, and also payload. Payload analysis we have to verify for each and every incident investigation. Whatever raw log we are receiving part of the SIM tool, that can be converted SIM understandable format. So whenever you are doing any incident investigation analysis or forensic analysis, always you have to keep remember payload analysis. Payload, in case if they don't happening, normalization or aggregation or parsing, it's very difficult to understand. That is what it's happened in 2019 or 2020. Hawaii from Whitefield, Bangalore, they recruited approximate, I think, 20 to 25 SOC team members. So instead of taking normal interview from Hawaii, China-based largest telecom service provider in the China, so what they have done, so they shared couple of logs, and in that logs they given especially payload. Using that payload, you should identify what is the attack is about, and also how we can prevent and take care respect to remediation, and also remediation access or preventive mechanisms. That means you should understand what is meant by raw log and what is meant by payload analysis, and also what is meant by parsed log. Raw log normally will not understand. So once that raw log can be converted into sim tool understandable format as a SOC analyst or cyber security analyst or information security analyst, we can verify and we can evaluate what is mean by payload and how the attack it's happened, and so whether it is blocked or quarantined or allowed or cleaned or safe. All those analysis completely will be done by using payload only. Payload is not only applicable to network layer, this is applicable to even whenever you are accessing any website or application. So always you have to analyze the payload, how the payload is sending from in between the source to destination as a part of the application layer using HTTP request, and how the response is coming back as a server side or backend web server side. So you should be aware of these analysis as well. So that is on the application side. If you want to do pen test as well, in that scenario, so we have to analyze the payload. What is meant by payload? First of all, it's a message. For example, as I said yesterday itself, so is there any class today or not? That is the message you are sending in the WhatsApp. In that scenario, whatever message you are sending, so every message in the log or backend, it contains event timestamp when that particular log is generated, and also what is the log is about, and what is the message is delivered in between source IP, destination IP, what is the source port and destination port, and also what is authentication, it's failed or passed, and what is the action is taken by respective tools. Piece of written code or message is called as a payload. That is also one of the interview question. What is meant by payload? What is meant by IP header? Okay. So all those analysis where we are taking or where we are analyzing part of the network layer whenever any IP packet is traversing from source to destination or else traveling from source to destination. Okay. So that's all about IP packets here. You're welcome, Pawan. So next one is attacks. What all the attacks will fall under the network layer? IP spoofing, ARP spoofing, ARP flooding, IP flooding, ICMP flooding, ping of death, ping flood attack. All these attacks will fall under the network layer. IP spoofing, because logical address is nothing but it's IP address. Every computer or every device in the network or organization, we will assign one of the numerical number without any characters or without any alphabeticals. So that number we can call it as a logical number or logical address. So that is called IP address. So that IP address we have to assign to each and every machine, whatever it is connected in the network using LAN or Wi-Fi. In the similar way, so what attacker will do? Attacker will spoofing, masking, or so impersonating of the respective IP is called as IP spoofing, that we can discuss later. In the similar ARP spoofing, already we discussed about ARP, address resolution protocol. What is this address resolution protocol? It will do, it will convert layer 3, in layer 3 whatever address we can call it as, that is IP address or logical address, that can be converted into physical address or MAC address in the data link layer. So now what attacker will do, he will impersonate to switch stating that I am sending the request to so and so machine, and so that switch will impersonate on behalf of the attacker, and finally he will give the wrong information. That is called ARP spoofing. In the similar way, ARP flooding. Whenever we have a flooding in IT industry or software industry, it's a large number of the request. That is called flooding. Right now, too much of the rains are going on. So all the canals and also lakes and everything is rivers, is even rivers as well. Completely it's filled out. So because of the floods or rains, meaning here what, too much of the water. Same way, whenever we are saying flooding in the networking terminology, it is nothing but large number of the request or more number of the request. Who will do large number of the request or more number of the request? Obviously, attacker or hacker, threat actor or adversary or intruder he will do, and he will try to compromise target information as a part of the cyber process. That is, as per CA trade, it is called as availability. That is what it's happened 2 to 3 days back on July 19th. So Microsoft across the globe, across the worldwide, because of the CrowdStrike Falcon sensor agent flaw, it is there. So in between CrowdStrike and Microsoft vendor or Microsoft company, so they made a partnership. And Falcon sensor or CrowdStrike agent, what exactly it will do? It will prevent cyber attacks like all malware category of the attacks. Now what Microsoft has done, as compared to Microsoft EDR Defender, whatever it is taking care of the all malware category of the attacks, they have done partnership with CrowdStrike, not only with CrowdStrike, even they have done the partnership with Sophos, McAfee, Trend Micro, Sentinel-1, all those EDR tools. Whenever they are making any OS image, part of the Windows 11 or Windows 12 is going to come in future, or Windows 7 or Windows 7.1 or 8 or 8.1. In the similar way, Windows servers like 2008 or 2012 R1 R2, 2016, 2018 or 19 and 21. So they are inbuilt. They are creating one of the software agent part of the CrowdStrike, that is called CrowdStrike Falcon sensor. So now in that particular Falcon sensor, what they have done, CrowdStrike company, without doing the product security measurements, product security VAPT testing, part of the vulnerability assessment penetration testing, they released to public. Now what Microsoft has done, part of the OS upgrade, the upgrade to Falcon sensor as well. That is the reason most of the cases all over the worldwide, which operating system will is very popular one. Linux is a completely command terminology. We have like command line interface and lot of commands. So it's not user friendly at all. So obviously Windows is very user friendly. There is no need to remember comments. Everything like a graphical user interface. So that is the reason almost all over the worldwide, across the universe, most of the banking sector, flights or travel based industries or healthcare industries, stock exchanges, and also pharma based companies, finance based companies, they got compromised due to this particular. So Windows operating system they are using their organization. In case they are using like a MacBook or maybe so Unix operating system like a Red Hat Enterprise Linux or CentOS or SUSE or Feroda or Ubuntu or Docker or container. So this particular largest outage, whatever it's happened in the 2 days back, it could not be happen. Why I'm saying all this basically, so flooding meaning here, so large number of the requests it's happened. By the way, whatever this particular attack, just now explain part of the Microsoft global IT outage, not one of the largest outage from the 1984 to till date. So it's because of that one, so many companies got outage and availability issues occurred. Okay. So in the similar way, what attacker will do part of the flooding category, you will send the large number or huge number of the request. And finally, whatever target mission or asset or server or database or application, it will become unavailable or service will become disruption or they are not able to access. So finally, this is what it will happen as a global impact. Okay, so that is nothing flooding category. So anyways, We can discuss more in-depth analysis part of the network and cyber attacks. I'm going too much in depth now itself. Apologies for that. Let's go and start now. What is meant by logical address? What is meant by path determination? What is meant by routing? First one is logical address. So what is mean by logical address? It's a virtual address. That particular virtual address is sent to each and every computer or device or asset. It is connected in the computer network. So that particular IP address is called as logical address or else IP address. It is a numerical number or label assigned to each and every system connected in the network. So that particular virtual address, is called as logical address. So now who will use logical address in the network layer and which device it will use? Example device part of the network layer is layer 3 switch, or else we can call it as a router or router. Okay. Example network device in network layer is layer 3 switch. That is nothing but router or else router or router. Enter a question. Router will fall under which layer? What is the answer? What is the answer? Network layer.
Network layer.
Exactly, that's correct. Okay, otherwise they'll ask in different way. So which device will fall under the network layer? What is the answer? Router we have to give. And the router is very, very important in the organization point of view. Without router, we can't do business in our current 5G or spectrums, whatever we are using. Each and everywhere, wherever you are going, that may be saloon or beauty parlor or maybe so hospital or maybe banking sector or maybe travel based industries, everywhere they are providing free Wi-Fi's to make sure that customers should be satisfied and they get free Wi-Fi's so that they'll get the business related so advantage or profits. So that is the reason. So without internet nowadays, we are doing very, very limited business. So most of the cases, compulsory internet is a mandatory to do any business. So I'm not saying like, so whoever is purchasing or selling in the street are not like that. I mean, small or medium and enterprise level of the industries. For those industries, it's a compulsory. So internet is a mandatory. Without internet, we can't do business as well. Okay, we can't attract customers also. Okay, so which device will provide the internet? Obviously it is a router. That is the reason whenever you are making any Wi-Fi connection or wireless connection in your organization or in your computer, we will ask like we need internet connection, so that field engineer or site engineer, they will come with respect to D-Link or Cisco or maybe Juniper or Avaya or Aruba routers, and they will install in our home. For that one, they are nowadays they are giving free of cost based on the tenure whatever you are purchasing the respective internet. Okay, so that is different story anyways. Second one, path determination. What is in the path determination? So basically choosing of the smallest route or best route. Maybe in between, I want to travel to Hyderabad to Bangalore or Hyderabad to Chennai. In that scenario, I want to choose always smallest route. So what is the smallest route Hyderabad to Bangalore? So if I'm going via outer ring road from Hyderabad to Mahbub Nagar and also Karnool, then Anantapur, Hindupur, and finally host quota, and finally Bangalore it will appear. So this is the way how I can travel, sorry, not host quota, airport, Bangalore airport. And finally, so Hebal and Bangalore I will reach. That is from Hyderabad to Bangalore location, how I can reach. But we have one more route, Hyderabad to Bangalore. So first I will go to Nalgonda or Suryapet. From there I will go to Vijayawada. From Vijayawada to Guntur, Vangol, Prakasham, Naidupeta. So then, so what is that? Not Hindupur. Kolar, and also then Hoskota, KR finally Bangalore. So that is another route. Now, which route is very smallest route for us? Whether via Vijayawada is smallest route or via it's a Mahabubnagar it's smallest route.
Via Mahabubnagar is the smallest.
Exactly. So we can save our time and we can save our cost as well related to petrol. So that is the way how we are choosing always smallest route. Okay. So that is what in between any source to destination, whenever any packet is traversing in the form of the data or information, always routers or routers will choose smallest route or best route. Choosing of the smallest route or best route, we can call it as path determination. Okay, then how we can define this one? Choosing of smallest or best route in between source to destination is called as path determination. So maybe I can give one more example. From Amirpet, if you want to go to High-Tech City, but I'm not sure how many people is know about Amirpet to High-Tech City route. One of the route through Yusufguda, and also we can go to Jubilee Hills. So then Peddamma Temple, and after that we can go to, so respect to Madhapur, then High-Tech City. So in such a way we can go. That is one of the route. In the similar way, we can go to Kokatpalli via Kokatpalli. So Kokatpalli flyover, then we can go to Raidurg. From there we can go to High-Tech City. That is another route. In the similar, we can go to Nizampet. From Nizampet crossroad also we can go. So that is another route. So in the similar, we can go to Gachibowli. From Gachibowli also we can go to High-Tech City. So there are so many routes are there. But to reach Amirpet to High-Tech City, but which one always we will choose? Smallest route, that is nothing but Amirpet, Yusufguda, Jubilee Hills, then finally Madhapur and High-Tech City. So same way, whenever any packet is traversing in between source to destination, so even though it can validate so how many routers are there, what is the administrative distance? So normally we can measure distance via kilometers or miles. 1 mile equals to 1.8 kilometers. If it is Western countries, they will call it as a miles. But most of the cases, Asia Pacific countries, those countries, they will call it as a kilometers. So whenever we are measuring the distance using kilometers or miles, same way, when the packet is traversing from source to destination, that particular distance measurement, we can call it as AD, not active directory. AD is nothing but administrative distance. Always, router, it will choose the smallest advertisement distance or AD. Now I can go and I can discuss about, so what is mean by routing and what is mean by path determination with a practical example, and which routing protocols will supported by router. Okay, let's go and start now. So for this one, I will use directly Cisco. So whether I have chosen Cisco, yes, I have chosen Cisco. And under Cisco routers, so router symbol is, I think, so this is the router symbol. So I'll make one more router here. I'll make one more router here. I'll make one more router here. And finally, I will make one more router here. So this is the root symbol from Cisco side. In the similar way, not only this particular Cisco is providing the routers, even couple of other companies like IBM, HP, Juniper, so Avaya, Hawaii, these companies also providing the routers, AT&T as well. So one more router here and one more router here. So now I can choose couple of directions from this is one router, this one direction, this one router. Every router by it will maintain the routing table. So that routing table contains the source IP, destination IP, and also it will contain the router ID as well. So whenever any packet is traversing in between source and destination, it will identify the respective source IP, destination IP, and payload it has where it is originating and where it has to go. So that is nothing but IP packet, and also it contains IP header as well. So now this is one of the routers. So I'll keep here one of the respective traveler, and here also one of the traveler. Just now I took one of the example in between Amirpet to High Tech City. So actor means don't think like he's an attacker. He think like it's a normal person. He's traveling from source and destination. So now every router, what it will maintain the router ID, and also every device it contains the IP address and also MAC address. MAC address is called as a physical address, or else it is called as a MAC address using NIC card. So here, so one of the end user IP address is 10.10.10.1. So this is private IP address in the class A. So this is 10.10.10.2, and this is 10.10.10.3. It's a class A IP address. It's a 10.10.10.4, and it's a 10.10.10.5. Most of the classes, whenever I will give one of the any practical example, I will always choose private IP address range only. That to maximum case I will choose 10 series. So 6 here. Not only this one, even it contains MAC address also, because we are discussing about only network layer part of the IP address. I'm not keeping any MAC address here. So now this one is 10.10.10.7. This is 10.10.10.8, and this router is 10.10.10.9. So every router, it will maintain the root table. So that root table, how we can represent basically. So I will go to another sheet, or directly I can keep here itself. Don't get confusion. So this is third one, routing. Route is in nothing but traveling of or traversing of the packet using different routers. In between source and destination are peer to peer. So every router, it will maintain the routing table. That routing table, it can be represented as router ID. All these are CCNP concepts, by the way. So whatever right now I'm teaching, CCNA, CCNP routing, CCNP switching, CCNP troubleshooting. All these concepts I took it from Cisco Certified Network Associate, Cisco Certified Network Router or routing, Cisco Certified Network Switcher or switching, Cisco Certified Network Troubleshooter. So those concepts I took it. It's not required basically. All these things can be configured by network admin or network engineer who has the knowledge of the router and switches. But you should be aware. By the way, I am CCIE certified both in the routing, switching, and troubleshooting, but also I am certified CCIE security as well, part of the theoretical and also lab. It's a very complicated certification to crack. Source IP, destination IP. So example, router ID meaning here in this particular route or path, whatever I have chosen in between Amirpet, this is our source. Next one is high tech city, as I said. Now, example take in between Amirpet to Yusuf Goda, maybe 1 kilometer, but I will keep it as a 10 administrative distance. And then Yusuf Goda to, so respective Jubilee Hills, Pedamatanli, whatever, or Jubilee Hills check post, maybe 5 administrative distance. And from there, Jubilee Hill check post to Pedama temple, so it is maybe 10 once again. And from here to, so Durgam Cheru, so approximate it is 10 once again. From here once again Durgam Cheru to High Tech City, maybe 10 here, for example. Example only. So in this similar way, this one way and another way. So water shortest route we are going, directly we are going to Srinagar colony or maybe Panjagutta to once again. So Jubilee check post, from there we are going. So here 5 administrative distance, here it is 10, and here it is maybe 10 once again, and here it is 5. So how many routes are there now as per the diagram? How many routes are there?
2 routes.
Two
Two
routes.
routes.
Two
Yeah,
routes.
two routes are there. One is this route and second is this route. Now you can calculate AD, not kilometers or miles. As I said, always in the routing wise, we can measure the distance as the administrative distance, that is called AD. Okay. So 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. Altogether how much? 15 plus 10, 25 plus 10, 35 plus 10. So 45 plus 5, 50. So route 1. So user A to, this is R1 example. So this is R2, that is but router ID. In the similar way, route 3 or router 3. In the similar way, R4, R5, and here user B. Now here R6, R7. Now we can go for route A, user A2. What is the first route? R1. Next one is R2. Next one is R3. Next one is R4,
R5.
R5, and user B.
And user.
Yeah. Now administrative distance equals to AD equals to 50.
50.
So that is on the route 1. Next one, route 2.
R1, R6, R7.
Yeah, user A, router 1 or R1, R6, R7, R5, and also user B.
User.
So how much?
40.
Yeah. Now based on the administrative distance in between this one, which one? Okay, so shortest path and routing it will choose.
Route B. Route 2.
Yeah, route 2 it will choose. So this is, we no need to define anything. So automatically in between source and destination, for example, as a employee, you are working in Tech Mahindra High Tech City or Tech Mahindra whatever Mindspace, and you are accessing one of the website name is called as google.com, or facebook.com or maybe instagram.com or hdfcbank.com. In that scenario, whenever you are sitting the Tech Mahindra part of the your physical on-premise location to google.com or Facebook or Insta or hdfcbank.com, so it will travel the packet in between your Tech Mahindra user LAN to switch. There it will go to switch 3 or layer 3 switch or router. Then it will go to NAPS proxy, firewall, ISP router. Then finally it will go to the public DNS server of the Google or Insta or Twitter or HDFC Bank. So now in such a way, how to think. So in the organization point of view, now I given one of the example. You are sitting in the Tech Mahindra, so Mindspace, and you are accessing on the website name is called as google.com or Insta or Twitter or HDFC Bank. In that scenario, which default gateway, which router 1, router 2, router 3 it is accessing, what is path B or router maybe second route, and which one is smallest route. Now we no need to define anything. Automatically backend based on the static route, dynamic route, routing information protocol using RAP, EIGRP, IGRP, OSPF, and BGP. All these are routing protocols. According to that one, automatically it will choose smallest route. Okay. So that is all overall about what is meant by path determination, and also what is meant by routing, what is meant by logical address. Additionally, as I said, each and every router, it will maintain the router ID and also source IP and destination IP. For example, so for router 1, what is the source IP? For router 1, what is the source IP? Where the packet is originating?
10.10.0.
7.
7. Where the
7.
packet is reaching or going?
Up to
0.
10.10.10.2. In such a way, route table it will form. So here router ID, here it will provide source IP x dot, for example, x dot x dot x dot x, and destination IP is y dot y dot y dot y dot y. So now couple of times what we have to do in the routing router itself, we have to define the routing protocols. Just now whatever I said, what are the couple of routing protocols we do have? Routing protocols examples are static route. I will discuss all these topics at the time of firewall implementation, guys. I'll ask all these questions. Dynamic route, multicast route, fourth one is RIP, fifth one is EIGRP, sixth one is IGRP, seventh one is OSPF,
BG.
BGP, for example. So in the firewall, because entry level of any network device in the perimeter or maybe in the network side after ISP router, we will install so firewall as a entry point. So in the firewall, we have to configure all these routes. For example, I will open one of the firewall. It is available in the free of cost. There is no need to pay any money. It is called open source. So I am typing here Google. In this Google, I will type FortiGate demo. Guys, are you able to understand what I am teaching by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, bro.
So I'm going to now FortiGate demo. It's a free of cost. Anybody can access from anywhere, including in your mobile as well. Now I'm opening one of the firewall name is called as a FortiGate firewall from Fortinet company. So firewall version is 7.4. It's for demo. Okay, whenever you are visiting for any perfume based, okay, so respective company or maybe any so shopping related companies, they'll give one demo piece. What is my demo piece here? So to check whether this particular perfume or maybe so clothes or maybe whatever you are choosing, so lipstick and so on, whether it is comfortable to us. So we can test that one, and if it's comfortable to us, and then we can purchase it. Same way, couple companies will not accept proof of concept. When you say proof of concept, that's called POC. And so like police department, healthcare department, banking sector, finance sector, Navy, Army, Defense, wherever critical and also confidential data existing, they will not accept for testing. When I say testing, basically, for example, you are going for maybe one of the shopping mall and you are purchasing one of the cloth, that may be t-shirt or pant or maybe whatever it may be. So then after choosing the respective cloth, then you will go to test room or trial room to see whether it is comfortable to your body or not. You will test or not? Obviously,
Yes, sir.
yes, we will test it. Whether it is comfortable to my body, whether fitting into my body, whether any loose or maybe whether any tight. First of all, very comfortable or not, as compared to price or quality. We can verify everything. Okay. So same way, whenever any customer or client, if they are purchasing any tool, so before purchasing the tool, they will do testing. So how you are doing testing your cloth in the trial room, same way, they will test respect to tool in their environment. That particular process, we can call it as a POC, proof of concept. This proof of concept will not be done by you or me as the implementation or a design architect, or else maybe operation support of L1, L2, L3. Then who will do POC or proof of concept? This one will be done by pre-sales team. Pre-sales. For every project, whatever you're getting, maybe IT or ITS or BPO industry or software industry, there are so many people are involved. So those teams are sales or marketing, pre-sales, or architect or design, or implementation, or maybe developers, or maybe testers. So finally, so we can go and we can release to the public. So this is the way L1, L2, L3 support as well is required for every project. But unfortunately, you will not sure about how you're getting projects everywhere boundary. Maybe you're working in TCS or you're working in Infosys or Accenture or Deloitte or KPMG, water company it may be. Everywhere they will do segregation. Sales is one team, pre-sales is one team, software architects one team, security architects is one team, and the implementation team is one team, developers are one team. So finally, operational team of L1, L2 or L3 or tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3. You don't have that much assumption how we are getting projects, how we are delivering the projects, total end-to-end life cycle of the project management. This one will be taken by project manager. So what I'm trying to say here, think about broader mind or open mind, out of the box. Don't stick on only for one thing. Stick for everything, how the project we are getting to till delivery. So then how many pages are there? Which team is doing what? Then you will understand about business and understand about projects and understand about the profits and losses for each and every company. Okay. So going back to here, pre-sales team is one of the team. They will do POC, that is the proof of concept. So here username and password is demo. It's not a case sensitive. You can give either uppercase or lowercase, it will work. Demo and demo. Click on next button or login. It will ask whether you want admin access or read-only access. It's a demo piece. Obviously, they will not give admin access. Login read-only. Now, why I'm choosing this one now? Because we are discussing about routing topic here. I want to clarify in the firewall how we can choose the route. What are the ways we can choose the route? So I'm comparing theoretical and practical simultaneously so that you will understand how this practical world, practical scenario can be applied instead of the theoretical way. Hope it's clear. So go to network. Can you see here under network? So static routes, policy routes, RIP, routing information protocol. It's not a rest in peace, by the way. OSPF, BGP, and multicast. This is what I'm explaining. Whenever any end user, they are trying to access public websites, part of our internal company. For example, Wipro Gachibowli or Wipro Circle, you are accessing one of the website name is called as Facebook by sitting in the Wipro Gachibowli office or circle. So the traffic is called as outbound traffic. In that scenario, how many routers are there? How the route has defined? Which route it has chosen? So routing always we have to confirm it as a security person to respect to network routing team. So this is not our job. This job is completely part of the network routers and switches and also network admin guy who will take care of the routing and switching and role bands and DNS configuration, DHCP configuration. That is one of the example. Same way, now as a candidate, as an experienced person, I want to apply job in Gachibowli. Okay, so Hyderabad Wipro Circle office. Now as a candidate or as a fresher or as experienced from my home, I can go to the my personal laptop. I can go to Wipro careers option. From their home, I can choose cybersecurity option. Then I can apply a job. That particular traffic for Wipro company is called inbound traffic. There also, we have to define the route. How the inbound traffic is coming to our internal organization, how the traffic is going away from our organization, how the route can be defined. This route can be defined by the network engineers or network admins or routing team or switching team, not our job. If I want to configure firewall now, I will ask which one you configured, whether static route or RIP or multicast or dynamic route or OSPF or BGP. What information respect to network admin team or network engineers team they are giving to me, then I can go and I can configure. That's all. Just I'll copy paste. I'll go to example RIP. I'll click on add here and I'll click on the respective IP address. Whatever IP address is from network admin team or network engineer team, I can add all those IP address here and through interface, which interface is going on, what is the IP address, everything I'll give it here. If it is RIP, routing information protocol, in the similar way, OSPF in the similar static route. Static route means only one route it is available. There is no other alternative routes. Dynamic routes means more than one route. Okay. So those places we can configure in the firewall also. Then only we can access the internet. Otherwise, firewall will block our internet connectivity. Just now I given one of the example. Internal employee of the Wipro Circle, they are trying to access of the Facebook of the public website in the similar way. External person or candidate, they are trying to apply job in the Wipro Gachibowli Circle in the Hyderabad location. So as a cybersecurity SOC vacancy, we have to define the route. So if you want to implement firewall, you should be aware of these routing protocols as well. This is practical now. Okay, I'm going back now. So these are the couple of example of the routing protocols, and also I completed logical address, path determination, and routing. Okay, so and also what is the packet, what is the data format in the respective network layer? It's IP packet. And what are the different types of category of the attacks it will appear? IP spoofing, ARP spoofing, ARP flooding, IP flooding, ICMP flooding, ping of death and ping of so flood attack. Additionally, one more protocol also will fall under the respect to network layer. Additional, otherwise, example protocols of network layer. So one is IP, Internet Protocol. Second one is ARP, Address Resolution Protocol. These two protocols will fall under the respective network layer. And example network device is, what is example network device? Router.
Router.
Yeah. So now router, it will provide internet, and also router will provide VPN via public network or internet. It's a very, very important note. Third note, if you want to connect two buildings, two cities, LAN, two countries LAN, two continents LAN, which device is a mandatory? What is the answer?
Router.
Exactly, router. So these are three nodes. So without router, we can't connect. So public network or internet or VPN or work from option or site-to-site VPN without any client location as well. So router is a mandatory device to take care of the virtual private network or IPsec VPN or work from home option or remote VPN or site-to-site VPN or client location access or maybe internet access as well. Okay, it will broadcast the traffic. It will use logical addresses called as IP address. It will use IP packets. It's a layer number 3 device, or else it is a network layer. That much in depth is there, part of the network layer. You have to read this much in depth, then only you will understand. But even though they will not expect all these questions at the time of the interview, why I'm going too much in depth now itself? So it's not about what your job roles and responsibilities you are applying. You should be aware of how the practical world is going on. Why internet is a mandatory. How we are using real-time scenarios from the security point of view. So don't think like IT means only developers or testers or application development team, product development team only. They'll work on the real-time scenarios, whatever we are taking care of the respective products or mobiles or applications or websites, design and so on. Even security people as well, they have to think our practical way. So each and every day-to-day life, how security is so important. So that is the reason we have to aware the respective. So respect each and every our family member and also our relatives and also our organizations and so on. For example, I'm working in X company 2 years back. I was sitting in the cafeteria to take my lunch, and the opposite one of the person was sitting with me, and he was asking me which team you are belongs to, and I asked you which team you are belongs to. He said DevOps. I know about DevOps, how it will work. So then he asked about which team you are belongs to. I said product security and cyber security. What is the meaning of cyber security? What is the meaning of product security? He is not aware of. He is not aware of phishing emails. He is not aware of how the cyber criminals are taking. Okay, so spamming and also blackmailing and also data collection and so on. So this is what it is lacking right now. And please remember, not only you, don't think like a competitors whenever someone is studying cyber security. Forget about that one. Lot of people are through wishing, through smashing, through phishing emails, they are losing money. Yesterday itself in my district, one of the person is a part of the MLA personal assistant PA. He clicked on one of the URL link, 1,90,000, he lost it. They approached me, what to do and how to do. Why did you click on the URL link? Why did you enter OTP? Why did you enter or why did you pick up the calls? There are several scenarios. Practically, they approached me how to do and what to do and how to take care of the respective appropriate actions. Yeah, that's all for today, guys. Do you have any questions? I thought to complete all OSI layers, but unfortunately I could not. Anyways, but you have to understand.
RK,
Yeah,
uh,
please.
we have about attacks, right? Like IP spoofing, flood
Yes,
spoofing.
yes.
DDoS comes under this one.
DDoS will come under the flooding category. It's a very good question. Thanks for asking. Not only for the transport layer or network layer, even application layer also. Most of the people will think about DOS and DDoS will come like under network layer. That is wrong. So DOS and DDoS will come under the each and every layer of OSI.
Okay.
Is it clear, Priyanka?
Yeah.
It's a very good question. Thanks for asking. Any other?
And one more thing is, you said about layer 3 switch and layer 2 switch, right?
Yeah.
Basically. So
Layer
what
sorry. Please go ahead. Apologies.
router is called layer 3 switch?
Yeah. Layer 3 switch is equivalent to router. Router, another name is layer 3 switch.
Because I have seen questions like, what is the difference between router and a switch? And also, what is the difference between layer 2 and layer 3 switch?
Yeah,
I
layer
thought
3 switch will do capability of routing. Layer 2 switch will not do capability of routing.
so that is the only difference, or
That is the only difference. And also layer 3 switch will provide internet and layer 3 switch will provide VPN as well.
okay. And is that any other like Cisco or something has given this name, or it's a
Cisco
general?
only given all these names by default.
Okay, fine.
Clear? Thank you so much, Priyanka. You are doing very extensive, R&D. What else?
Nothing. Actually, I was like reading few of the things, so I have got, interview questions and all. So I
Okay.
found.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Thanks for educating others as well. What about others, guys? Okay, guys, that's all for today. Tomorrow we have class at 7 p.m. IST. And within 1 hour, I can upload this particular video. And don't skip. Most probably, coming Saturday and Sunday, I can take mock interviews. I'm repeating once again. Coming Saturday and Sunday, whatever syllabus we are going to complete, already we completed in the past from past 1 week. So I'm planning to take mock interviews. Okay, please. Okay, so study or please read. And and whenever you need any help and support, please let me know. I think so. Whatever videos I'm uploading, whatever material I'm uploading in the part of the Google Drive, that is more than sufficient. You can go to the event design and architect level, implementation level, L1, L2, L3 related to endpoint security, network security, and also cyber security. There are so many. So I will stop for 1 minute here, record session.